This is an example of a combine that was used to conduct a harvest. The soybean contest is sponsored by the PA Soybean board, and we require supervisors that are unbiased, that do not sell any product to farmers directly, input supplies, so that the information we gain is unbiased. It's important to conduct a few things during this harvest. Secure paperwork is obviously the first thing we need to do. We need to calibrate our hand wheels, document the harvest, and manage the loads and the weight, and do the calculations correctly. The first thing we do is get the form from the pasoybean.org website. Fill in this form in its entirety before it's turned back in. If you have questions, you can call Del Voigt if you have any problems or issues to assist you with filling out the form. It's important to write legibly so we can gain the proper data from the forms. The wheel needs to be calibrated. Sometimes the devices on the wheels do not function properly, so to double check this, we run a 100-foot tape out and then run your wheel from start to finish. It should marry up at the same. If it does not, then we need to find out what's wrong with the mechanism and fix it. Check that the truck and the combine is empty at the point that we're ready to do the harvest. I usually, as a courtesy, will measure a length and determine what width the farmer needs to conduct, and this is fairly easy to do. Once you know the length of the field, you can easily go in and estimate how wide it needs to be, and then at the end you do all the way around that square box to come up with an acreage. You need a 2-acre minimum after they're harvested, and in the truck the certifier needs to be escorting the vehicles to the scale and then filling out the forms. Once you have all the background information of the field and the area, it also is necessary to get an estimate of the plants per acre. We recommend at least 20 foot of row, perhaps in 2 to 3 spots in the field prior to harvest, and to get an idea of what the population is. For example, if you measure off 20 foot of row and find 60 plants, 60 divided by the 20 yields a total of 3 plants per foot of row. This would be what's reported in the report, along with the row width in the upper section, which allows the assessor to come up with a plants per acre. The other estimate is of harvest loss. Uncover a 10 by 10 area of the soil surface and look for soybeans left on the ground or in uncut pods. For each 4 soybeans found per square foot, it represents a 1 bushel loss. We need to manage these loads, ensure that we have a heavy and light weights. The one critical thing here is to make sure that the operator is the same weight, and that they don't fill any fuel up in between. Ensure that the light weight is from the same truck. Collect a moisture sample randomly from the load, preferably with a probe, and then run an average of 3 moisture readings from a certified moisture testing device. And once we have all this information, we can calculate the yield and get the paperwork into the Lebanon County Extension Office. Yield is calculated by taking the heavy weight minus the light weight and taking the moisture out of the seed. So if we have 10,000 pounds of net minus 13.5% moisture, with the moisture removed, it would weigh 8,650 pounds of dry matter. Once we have that, we have the dry matter in a bushel of beans is 52.2, so we can arrive at a bushels per area that was combined, and then it's simply a matter of dividing the acreage that you measured into that bushels to get the bushels per acre. In this example, if we had 165 bushels in the area and you had 2.75 acres measured off, then the yield would be 60.25 bushels per acre. All of the photos for this were provided by Del Voigt. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me at the Lebanon County Extension Office. Thank you.